Prices for seemingly everything keep going up, from food to gas to housing. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, consumer inflation jumped nearly 8% over the past year, the sharpest rise in 40 years. And the impact of inflation is being felt everywhere, from your local grocery store to a home improvement retailer to a nonprofit in Golden Valley. Delane Cleveland takes us there.
We don't turn anyone away.
Every week, hundreds of families make their way to PRISM in Golden Valley to use the nonprofit organization's food shelf.
So this is a typical cart of food. As you can see, we've got some meat in it. We've got some nice turkeys, potatoes, apples.
On average, Executive Director Michelle Ness says they distribute 170,000 pounds of food every month. Roughly half of that food comes from the generous donations of people and local grocery stores. But in the last 4 months, she's seen a big change.
We are down, on an average, 42,000 pounds of food each month in donations. So we're seeing a big dip in donations. New families are doubling. So it's very real right now.
Ness says the decrease in donations is directly tied to inflation.
The cost of gas is what everybody sees and notes. This is what our suppliers feel in the supply chain.
Meat and fresh produce are in short supply on the shelves here at PRISM. Meanwhile, they try to keep a good balance of food on hand, and whatever they can't get through donations, they have to go out and buy themselves.
We're spending more than we had budgeted, I can tell you that, so we're making sure that we get what we need. With that said, it needs to be within reason.
Adding to the challenge is the fact that 200 more families a month are utilizing their services.
You know, last year we saw our numbers go down a bit, and I think the child tax credit, stimulus payments, there were a number of different things that were very helpful to families. All of those have ended, and we are seeing our numbers go right back up to what they were before.
With rising costs and an increased need, Ness is asking people to help in any way they can.
If you want to donate or volunteer and help us out, we could absolutely use it all.
In Golden Valley, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
A Brooklyn Park woman has been sentenced for the death of her 8-year-old son, who she locked in a freezing garage overnight after the boy got in trouble. A judge sentenced Tasha Tenen to 8 years and 7 months in prison with credit for time already served. Tenen agreed to a plea deal, which included dismissal of a more serious first-degree murder charge while committing child abuse. The incident occurred 4 years ago on a January night when temperatures were in the negative single digits. The mother called police the next morning after she found the child unresponsive. A Maple Grove man has been sentenced to prison for fraudulently obtaining loans through the federal COVID-19 Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP. That program was meant to help small businesses avoid layoffs and salary reductions during the pandemic. A U.S. District Court judge sentenced Aditya Sharma to 5 years in prison. According to federal court documents, Sharma falsified applications for loans using names of technology companies he created. He ended up obtaining $1.7 million in fraudulent funds. The FBI found that Sharma ended up using the funds to pay off unrelated legal debts, fund new business ventures, and pay for a backyard pool. Members of a task force that want to make Highway 252 safer for the surrounding community are asking neighborhood residents to get involved with what's planned for the future of the road.
I'm very concerned about that because I live near Highway 252 and I use it whenever I leave my neighborhood to go anywhere. And that's a concern for everyone on both sides of Highway 252 who use this highway every day.
Right now, project partners are conducting an environmental review of the stretch of 252 that runs through Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center. That stretch has some of the most dangerous intersections in the state, according to crash statistics. But plans to turn that road into a freeway have nearby residents concerned.
There's a lot of questions about how safe this all is. Plus the impact on all the local businesses, apartment buildings and houses in this area.
Khan asked residents to get involved, asking questions and asking for greater transparency from project partners regarding the future of the project. The city of New Hope, in its city manager search, is turning to its police chief to serve as acting city manager, at least for a 6-month trial period. The New Hope City Council recommended Police Chief Tim Hoyt to serve as acting city manager. The current city manager, Kirk McDonald, is retiring this summer. Hoyt would fill both the city manager and police chief roles starting June 1st. After the trial period, if the city council does not name Hoyt to the permanent role, he will retain his police chief position. Hoyt was named police chief in the fall of 2020. He's been with the city's police department for more than 16 years. Congress has approved a bill that will impact Brooklyn Park. A bipartisan omnibus appropriations funding package includes funds for a small business incubator. The city's Economic Development Authority purchased the Northwind Plaza strip mall last fall for just over $7 million. The goal is to convert the vacant storefronts into a center to assist small businesses. $1 million was secured for the center under a U.S. House vote. Brooklyn Park City officials are currently working on deciding what the space would look like and what sort of entrepreneurs would be appropriate for the small business center. They expect the space to open up early next year. The Plymouth Community Center got a big donation this week from the Plymouth Rotary Club. The Plymouth City Council recognized the Rotary Club this week for their donation of 4 AEDs for the community center. 1 AED will go on each level of the Plymouth facility. The donation is part of the Rotary Club's Heart Safe Plymouth program, where the club offers free training for people on how to use the AEDs and how to do CPR. The club estimates they've held more than 300 sessions where they've trained more than 6,700 people.